Good morning, YouTube land. All right, so today is September the 5th, well, 15th. Ooh, getting ahead of myself. September the 11th, 2015. And the time is roughly 10:30. I'm still working on my protein shake, but instead of the Premier protein shake that's pre-made, because that sits heavy in my stomach, keeps me full for a long time, but I end up like craving water when I'm done. And yeah, it's just me. Some people can get it down easier than I can. But the Bariatric Advantage package that I showed you last time, I made that protein shake and I put PB2 into it. It's a powder. It's a peanut butter type powder that I got from Walmart. Not sure if Target sells it, but I'm sure they should. But it's actually pretty good with especially with the peanut butter. It tends to go down better and tastes a little bit better too. I don't like to whip it up because when it's nice and thick and rich, it takes longer to go through and do all that stuff. So, but yeah, what I did was, I don't want it. Oh, it looks quite nasty, but you know, when you have to do something, you bite the bullet, right? So it actually doesn't taste too bad. I've had worse. So that's my morning meal. I've already had my water, my full camel pack of water this morning. So that's going to be my meal. And the meal that I had last night, fantastic. It's so weird how you tend to really cherish the fact that you can eat puree foods, or when you get to that point and it's like, oh my God, the world's opening up to me. I can eat so much more. And it's like, you have a handful of things more, but still, it's better than soup broth, you know? It's because it's a progression that speaks volumes, because you're like, I'm doing everything I should be. Internally, everything is healing the way it should be. And the progression is indicative of that. So, I mean, it's really good. So, before I get into it today is, like I said, September the 11th. I am 2 weeks now. I had my 2 week follow up, so 2 weeks post op, and it doesn't feel like it feels like it's a little bit longer, but then again, you know, it's 2 weeks and 3 days, but for YouTube land, it's 2 weeks because I do my videos on the weekend. So I am outside here with my son and my dog, and sorry, phone call. So, but I am out here with my son and my dog. They're playing out here. So let me go ahead and get into the stats. So again, I had bypass surgery on the 25th of August, and the highest weight was 330. The surgery weight was 302, and the current weight as of, well, Wednesday, I had the follow-up appointment of this week, the 9th. The current weight was 286.7. So from the highest weight to now, that puts me at a loss of 43.3 pounds. Now, 4 months of that was the guided, if you will, guided weight loss or weight management program through my GP. And I was on phentermine and controlling my intake and what I ate. And it worked fairly well. Phentermine had just had me like amped up and revved up every freaking day, but it did work out for me. I was really concerned about having heart issues, and you know, because it's like a whole bunch of caffeine. I'm like, am I going to really feel it? But surprisingly, I didn't. So I was able to really handle phentermine very well. Now, of course, that means no more phentermine ever again, because you know, with the tool in place, that's my phentermine, my new phentermine, if you will. So if you see me swat something, then yeah, it's one of the bugs and butterflies and moths and whatnot. I can't stand them. But I did a chart here of my measurements. I'll go ahead and take a snapshot or write everything down as well. So you can, hopefully you can pause it and see that even the shoulders I went down just in 1 week's time, because September 4th is when I first took the measurements, and this morning is when I took the measurements again. So the shoulders I went down an inch, The waist I went down an inch as well. The hips I went down an inch. So it's, overall, I'm very pleased. Very pleased. I don't expect this over one night. Not at all. But at the same time, I know I need to put in my part of the bargain, my work. And so with foods, because this time I didn't write down what I was going to be talking about, my talking points. That keeps me on track. So with my foods, they have been expanding. They've been growing. And as soon as I got the okay on this past Wednesday to go to Puree, I felt like I've been liberated. I can do so much more now. And I made like it's a fantastic attempt. Second time I'll get it better. But the first attempt was for a pizza casserole made from a little cream, but I used milk. I didn't have cream. Mozzarella cheese, low fat, and cauliflower, blended cauliflower. And I put some garlic in it and some tomatoes, so I kind of screwed it up. But hey, trial and error. But it didn't taste too bad. But when I ate it, I'm like, it's, again, feeling like it's sitting like the protein, so it's kind of heavy, so I could only eat so much of it. And I felt full and a little satisfied. So it's like I waited an hour for that to pass, and then I had a little bit more, but I could only eat like one spoonful more. Then I'm like, okay, that got me to the other half of satisfying, which is kind of weird, but I took it for what it was, and Now, I think I'm actually going to save something like that until I get to solids and not so much puree. But what I did do for puree is the black bean soup that I made. I got some rotisserie chicken, and I put a piece of the, like a good chunk of the white meat and a good chunk of the dark meat in the blender, also with the black bean soup, and I add a little water. I blended that up, and I was in heaven last night. I mean, I was making love to the bowl last night. It was that sad. So, it was fantastic, I must admit. So I'm actually looking forward to doing it again, and I'm going to make another batch. I'm also going to put into the crock pot today some oxtail that I got from BJ's wholesale. I'm telling you, there are some stores that sell it, but they sell the little small pieces for like $5. It's ridiculous. Go to a wholesale place. I have not seen it at Costco. We've been over to Sam's Club. Sam's Club's, out of all the Sam's Clubs I've been to, they don't carry it. And I've only been to 2 different Costco's, and I haven't seen it. But for BJ's, I've been to like 4 different BJ's from 2 different states, or actually 3 different states. And they've all carried it. You don't have to be in an area where it's, a lot more West Indians or anything like that. No. Now, of course, if you are in an area like that, go to a West Indian market. You can get that, lamb, whatever. But, so I'll actually try to make a video on how I prepare that. And it's like carb-free down there. So I pretty much put the oxtail, tomatoes, whether it be canned or, my son and I just picked the tomatoes from the garden this morning, so we got a lot. So we're going to use those, celery, and carrots, and onions, and that's it. And you just add seasoning, put it in a crock pot, set it, forget it, and good to go. Now, once it's ready, I'm going to go ahead and blend it. That way I get my protein and my vegetables and everything, so I'm okay. And it tastes fantastic. Now, normally, what we would do is we can eat it just like that, or you can have it over rice. Either way, tastes good. So that is my agenda for today, is to cook. But so that's pretty much it. Foods. I'm still eating some of the soups, like my split pea soup, because I know I can handle it, and I can actually have about 6 to 8 ounces of it. It takes me about an hour, but I can get down almost a full cup of it, and I feel full and satisfied when I'm done at that end of the hour. So I'm good. One other thing. The Wednesday when the doctor told me that I could do purees, I was out and about. So on the way home, I stopped over at Panera Bread, and I got a small broccoli and cheese soup. And I sipped at that slower than I would sip on water. And it took me almost, I say 2 hours, because I didn't want to push it. And I knew that, for me, how my body is, I didn't want to push it. So I sipped on it. I kept sipping on it. And almost 2 hours later, I finished it. And again, it just felt like welcome back to the real world type of deal. And it just felt like I can do this. It's going to take me longer, but I can do this. It's not so much about, I don't know, it's hard to say, not like, I'm not focusing on eating the bad stuff. Like, oh, those fries look good, that burger is fantastic. And, well, no, it's like, I'm actually gung-ho to start trying all these great vegan recipes, paleo recipes, and they just look absolutely fantastic. Like, I found a recipe for cauliflower pizza. You can actually make crust with the cauliflower. So my husband thought I was crazy because I bought 4 huge cauliflower heads over at BJ's. And he's like, what the hell are you going to do with all this? I said, experiment, So I'm ready to start making some stuff and freezing it and preparing everything, because when I go back to work, it's grab and go, heat when I'm there, and keep going. And so if I don't have access to any of my protein, I got the food ready to go, and it's high protein food, as high protein as I can get it, at least. So I mean, preparation definitely is the key. That's one thing I started doing before surgery, and that's mainly because I commute a whole lot daily, and I take my son to school as well. So I'm on the road a lot throughout the week. And by the time I get home, I have about 3, maybe 4 hours to get everything that I need done, whether it be study, whether it be cleaning, laundry, you name it, before I have to sleep and get up and do it all over again. So that luxury of time I don't have. And preparation, especially when it came down to Sunday nights, when I would do the crock pots of meals for the whole week for the family, oh, it's a time saver and a life-saver. It really is. So one thing I will say to you guys, if you are, especially pre-oppers, prepare your meals. I mean, I still bought some things at the cafeteria, but that was in addition to what I had already prepared. Or if I prepare something and went bad, or, whatever the case. But at least you have your baseline. You have something to start from, So I can't stress enough, preparation is definitely going to be a way of success. And so that was pretty much foods. What else? Update on health. Well, I went into the doctors on Wednesday again for the second week, 2-week update and follow-up. And this was not my regular doctor, because my regular doctor's on vacation, but I went to see his backup doctor in the office. To my knowledge, we've never met before. He's never seen me. I know sure as hell I've never seen him, because I saw his face. I'm like, okay, well, finally I've been hearing your name, and now I can put the face to the name. And he looked at me and goes, wow, you look really amazing. And I'm like, well, thank you. I, didn't want to be, as I say, braggadocious and like, I already know that, but thank you, But I said that on the inside. So, when he said that, he's like, hey, you look amazing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I feel good. I said, the only issue I'm having really is constipation. And that, to me, is a big no-no, because I'm used to being regular. And in fact, pre-op, when I changed my diet to include so much more fresh stuff and fresh just apples, but fruits and vegetables, in addition to other things, I still went to Olive Garden pre-op every now and then, but I still kept losing weight, So, but yeah, I told him, I said, pre-op, I was regular. And now I'm starting to feel constipation, so yeah, it's a bit of an issue. But before I get to the constipation, because that is the TMI section, I'll finish up with what happened for the follow-up. So he did tell me that, just to make sure if I was tolerating all my vitamins well. I said, yeah, I am. And the protein, I told him I'm fluctuating between 30 and 60 grams. And that's rough. Well, obviously that's a rough estimate because some days I can get up to 60, and others, no, I fall short. But I said I've been drinking at least one protein shake, the Premier shakes, and I said that's minimum 13 grams of protein. So I said at minimum I'm getting 30 grams. And he says, okay, now that is one thing we're definitely going to step up. He says, if you can get at least your 60 in addition to what you're doing now, you'll be fantastic. You'll be on the right path. Because I told him with my water, I have